Well, I think there's some things that are very important when you're playing a tough team in a tough place to play on the road. Maybe the best team we played to date so far. They got a great rushing attack, very opportunistic defense that plays very physical and aggressive up front. Their offense has controlled the ball extremely well in most games and average 82 plays a game and do a really good job of running the football as well as making explosive plays. So had a great returner on special teams. So lots of challenging things for us to prepare for this week. I think turnovers, tackling, discipline execution, focused play in and play out, finish is really important. And you got to practice that way every day to be able to play that way when the game comes. And we've had a pretty good work week so far. And, you know, we just got to keep on keeping on and try to clean things up tomorrow so that we have a good chance to go out there and execute and play together and play a good game for 60 minutes. Nothing really new on the injuries. You know, Diggs and Deshaun Hand are still, Deshaun Hand's out, Diggs probably for sure out, can't really practice yet, so those guys probably won't be playing in the game.
Okay. We'll start in the middle with Chris Walsh.
With the guys who are from Texas going back for the first time since the hurricane, do you do anything special with a trip like this, or is it really important to keep things business as usual?
You know, we did a lot of things for our players in Texas, especially those that had issues relative to the, you know, hurricane or flooding. You know, I haven't really thought about it, to be honest with you. Maybe that's a mistake on our part, but I haven't really thought about it. You know, we sort of go on these trips like they're a business trip, and that's what we should be focused on. And, you know, it's kind of like my dad used to tell me, you know, when I used to go to work at the station, my girlfriend broke up with me, so I was treating the customers bad. And he said, "What's wrong with you today?" And I said, "My girlfriend broke up with me." He said, "Well, you know, you got one problem, but if you keep treating the customers bad, you're going to have two more. I'm going to fire you, and then I'm going to whip your ass for getting fired. So you're not going to have a girlfriend, you're not going to have a job, and you're going to get your tail whipped." So whatever happened in the hurricane happened, and it's a bad thing, and we want to support everybody every way we can. And we certainly did that as much as we could. But if we don't go out there and play a good game, they're going to have all the problems that they had from the hurricane, and then we're going to have a problem that we lost. So it kind of goes back to what my dad said, I think.
What have you seen from Texas A&M's pass rush? They've put up, I think they've had 13 sacks in the last two games. What do they do well up front?
Well, they're very athletic up front. They got some very explosive players inside. They got some really good speed rushers on the edge. They pressure a lot. In other words, they are going to rush 5 and 6 guys a lot, so they make some of those very athletic guys. They put you in a position where you have to single block those guys, and you can't help much on them. So I think it's the combination of they have a really good scheme, and they have really good players who can pass rush and finish on the quarterback. And they also create a lot of negative plays, so they create a down and distance where it's in their favor to do that on third down. So this is a really, you know, it's a challenge to be able to block their pressures. And I think if we're going to make any plays down the field and be a good third down team, it'll start with that.
Go in the middle here with Michael Wonder.
Hi, Coach. I was just wondering how your rapport with Minka has grown and developed over the years, and whether you've ever gained any insight into your own process just by watching him embrace the process. And also, some of his teammates say that he's the only one who makes you smile on a regular basis, so I'm curious if you can confirm or deny that.
Well, you're obviously a national writer, is that correct? Yeah, because you asked me about 4 questions there. And the people who come in this room regularly know I can only manage one at a time. All right, so let me try to get this right. All right, first of all, you know, I loved Minka when we were recruiting him. You know, he was great family, great personality. I still can remember having dinner in his home when we went on a home visit. And he's the kind of guy that very easy to talk to. is interested in a lot of things. And so I guess the relationship has grown, but he's just a very easy guy to like. And, you like being around him. You certainly like the way he plays. You like the way he embraces and tries to do things that you'd like for him to do, which you referred to as the process of helping him be a better player and helping us be a better team, which he has always been, 100% committed to. So when you have the best players on your team that are really, really good guys, it's always really fun to coach. And he's certainly one of those guys that makes it fun to coach.
Come here in the middle.
Did I answer them all? Because I can't honestly remember.
I was just curious if you've ever gained any insight into your own process by watching him.
I think that not just watching him, but I think with all players, you're constantly sort of growing and developing, not necessarily in what you think is important from a process standpoint, because what you're really trying to create is a culture of accountability. You're trying to define the expectation personally, academically, and athletically for these guys, surround them with people who can support them and help them make good choices and decisions so they can have success, but also teach them to be responsible for their own self-determination, which is what accountability is, which is what's going to help them be more successful in life. So, sometimes you see guys respond differently, to how to get that done, and I think that's a sort of an ongoing process for me. But the more we do it, the more we learn. I think the more people we can affect.
Now we'll go in the back with Cecil.